All right, thanks for staying with us. Security forces working at checkpoints or roadblocks can be severely injured or killed. Now, citing an example, recent example, I should say, 5 days ago, a policeman was killed while he was manning a COVID-19 roadblock at the Kajang South Toll Plaza at the Kajang Seramban Expressway after he was hit by a four-wheel drive vehicle driven by a suspected drunk driver. Now, many questions arose as to how this could have happened. Now, to have a clearer view on this matter, we have Khairuddin Hairan, who is the president of the Malaysian Society for Occupational Safety and Health, joining us today. Khairuddin, good to have you with us. Now,
Yes,
in your opinion, do you think this was caused by a lack of standard operating procedures on the side of security forces?
First of all, I would like to thank Bernama for inviting me to share a little bit of this OSH experience. And secondly, I would like to thank PDRM being the frontliners taking care of our safety and security matters, not just during the MCO, but actually before the MCO and after and throughout. And to look at the issues of having police having accidents at the roadblocks, I've listed actually about 4 series of accidents that just happened. Last week we had Corporal Safwan being hit and killed by a drunk driver on the 3rd of May around 2:11 a.m. at Lekas Highway, Kajang Selatan Toll Plaza roadblock. And recently, which is last month on the 7th of April, the PDRM officer was left severely injured in the head after MCO roadblock 10 collapsed at Sri Kembangan. So he received 5 stitches and fractured upper limb. And the third case was on another roadblock crash as lorry driver loses control on the 20th of March 2020 around 12:45 a.m. at Jalan Said Putra. And the worst was actually happened in November last year, where 2 policemen officers were killed and 3 others severely injured while they were trying to lift their equipments, completing the roadblocks, lifting their equipments into the Land Rover, and there was a lorry who swerved to the left lane suddenly and hit and killed 2 of them and injured 3 of them. So is it because of lack of SOP? It is just not the SOP. We are talking about the entire system of the OSH management. And I believe the police, they already have set of SOP. But unfortunately, this SOP does not focus into the OSH aspects of it. When I said the OSH aspects of it, the hazards of police manning the roadblocks, not just being hit by the vehicles, but it is also by exposure to the hot sun, exposure to the dust from the road surface. Nowadays, it's exposure to COVID-19 when the police officers has to stop the car drivers and they have to converse, they have to talk. And, the virus of COVID-19 can be transferred during that period, as well as not just the physical hazards, but when this driver is not being allowed to proceed, the police will then get a curse, will get an angry face from the driver, and this will provide a mental hazard to the police officers, and not to mention all other hazards, just like noise hazards from the engines, when they have to lift the heavy equipment from the ground to the Land Rover, and not forgetting also hazards could be caused by bitten by the bees or stung by the bees, bitten by the snake or the stray dogs. So we are not just talking about the SOP over here, because we are talking about a document which is so special, and it is called HIRAC, Hazards Identification, Risk Assessment and Risk Control, where all activities have to be identified, the hazards got to be analyzed, got to be identified, the risk got to be assessed, and the control measures towards that hazards got to be determined. So once this document, this HIRAC document and this SOP has been established and approved by the top management of the police, then it needs to be communicated to the staff there on the ground. It got to be there. Right. Then the management, the team leader will then use this document to convey the contents of the documents to the team members. It's just like Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri Yaakob talk to us every day about COVID hazards. Yeah, so this thing has to be pumped into their mind every day as well. So we're not talking just about the SOP. We are talking about set of trainings on OSH, the communications, and lastly, to ensure that this is being carried out on the ground, the top management or the management team need to come down and visit the place. Yes, I believe they do come down and visit the place, but there must be a little bit of focus on OSH being stressed, being emphasized. Yeah, for example,
Khairuddin,
check whether the communication has been carried out.
I mean, it is understood that although the Royal Malaysia Police falls under the Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994, now they have yet, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it seems like they have yet to comply with it. Do you have any reason why that might be the case?
Okay, police falls under the category of 10, Schedule 1, OSHA 1994, which means they also need to comply with OSHA 1994. But I believe that they are so busy protecting all of us throughout the period as well as during this MCO, and they might overlook on complying with this. But nevertheless, being the president of MSOSH, Malaysian Society for Occupational Safety and Health, having 3,000 plus individual members and also 500 plus corporate members, we are willing to assist the Royal Malaysian Police to train their OSH coordinator and then to establish their OSH policy. And also to establish the OSH committee, because these are legal requirements under Section 15 of OSHA and Section 30 of OSHA. If it is not being implemented, the top management of the police and the workplace, for example, like IPD or IPK, could also be taken to court and be prosecuted by DOSH.
All right. Thank you so much, Khairuddin, for taking the time to be with us to talk about this particular issue. Yeah. Now, that was Khairuddin Hairan, president of the Malaysian Society for Occupational Safety and Health. Now, with that, we will go for a short breather, but don't go away. We'll be back with more updates after this. Stay tuned.